Welcome to Beyond the Hustle, the podcast where real stories live. We go beyond the highlight reels and bring you bold, raw, and revealing conversations with entrepreneurs who have hit rock bottom and come back up again. Because you see, behind every successful business lies a story of risk, resilience, and sometimes real failure. This is where we unpack the missteps, the missed chances, the mess-ups that became powerful lessons and stories of success. So if you are looking to build something big, if you are dreaming of setting up a business, or just tired of faking it till you make it, this is your space and this is your show. Here we have real founders, real failures, and real fuel for your journey. Come on, let's go beyond the hustle. It started as a hustle, but it can't become a business. And that is what we aim to help you to do on Beyond the Hustle. And today is going to be very, 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 very interesting. But as usual, it's going to be smart lessons, real stories, real impact. So you have got to stay with us as we have a conversation over the next 30 minutes. As we usually do, we are going to talk about everything and anything. Interestingly, I designed some questions, but I end up never having to look at the questions because the conversations will flow, and out of the flowing, you will pick something. I guarantee you that you don't have to go anywhere. Today, my guest is. I saw this gentleman when he was like a baby, like. And right now he's grown and he's a gentleman, and I'm here. And actually, but welcome, Damon.
Thank you.
I know you
Maame.
as Nartey.
Yes.
Which do you prefer, Damon or Nartey?
Professionally, Damon. Let's go with Damon today.
Really?
Let's go with Damon today.
Okay,
But
welcome,
I'm always going to be Nancy to you, so it's not a problem.
Welcome, Damon.
Thank you very much.
So let's know who you are, a little about yourself, and your entrepreneurial journey.
Definitely.
Because I know that you like business.
We're managing. We can't complain.
So, share a little of your
Definitely.
profile, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So my name is Damon Osei. I currently run a wealth and asset management firm. So basically or simply, we manage money for people like Maame here who have too much and they don't know what to do with it. They don't always they have plenty of things to do with it, but sometimes they're always looking for the next thing. And as young as we are, we tend to be on the frontier of some of these new things that are coming up. So we give experienced people exposure to some of these new up and coming industries, as well as the ability to sort of test out and taste test a lot of these regular or standard industries that they may not have had the time to involve themselves in, like a career finance person who wants to go into agriculture or farming, right? We sort of try to give them that kind of exposure without their workload. But for me, it really started out as funny enough, I'll be very upfront about lack of exposure. What I started doing, I didn't even truly understand was an industry on its own. I knew it was a thing that people did. But for me, what it was that I really did a lot of sort of small startup projects when I was very young. I mean, Mommy said she knew me since I was a baby. Even back then, everything from when we were in junior high and high school, to from selling candy to gum. I always use this gum story because till this date it blows my mind. We used to sell gum at 100% profit in school. There is no business I've done that I'm seeing 100% profit. Can I go back to school and sell chewing gum? But we started there and we tried a lot of things. And for me, by the grace of God, there was a lot of care or exposure to very experienced people, and honestly we were kids, we were being taken care of, so I could save a lot. And then I was exposed to a lot of people who did not maybe come from the same background, did not have the kind of exposure that I did. And these people would often, how would I put it, come to me with things, come to discuss these kinds of things because of all the small things they saw me doing. And I always say the journey really started for me in what I was doing in high school, where I used to have this little book. Very recently, less than maybe 2 years ago, it got missing. It touches me till this day. I had this book that I used to write really crazy ideas in. It was, and the whole point of the book was that every page was supposed to be an entire business, and absurdity was the goal. I wrote in there about underwater real estate. I wrote about using rockets, shooting rockets out of the atmosphere to expel things that we didn't need on Earth, like waste gases and so on. A lot of crazy things. Then years later, I'm seeing one of the most beautiful hotels in the world right now. It's completely underwater, right? But when I had the book, even in high school, when friends found the book and they read it, it was a joke to laugh at me. But what had happened was, when I finally took the step to say, hey, I want to start doing something. Everybody has their belief system. I'm a Christian. It's always going to be God for me. But God sort of left me blank. I didn't know if it was a punishment. I didn't know if it was angry. For somebody who had
so
multiple ideas. When I finally sat down and said, okay, I need to start something that I want to do, either for the long term or for the rest of my life. And nothing would come to me. And it was literally that week in high school where I saw people just kept coming to my, in the span of a week, about 4 or 5 businesses, people would come to my room, not in the hallway in passing, just asking you a random question like they usually did. People were coming to me with full-blown business ideas, trying to pitch it to me to help them structure it. It wasn't even people coming looking for money, but they wanted a partner. They wanted to give you, they may have had everything they needed, but they wanted a partner who had some experience doing something. That's what they had seen you do. You had accomplished what they were trying to do in other spheres. So then they'd come to me with those kinds of things, and then I would ask myself, 1, why me? 2, right now that I want to do something, I can't think of anything. And all these people keep coming. And then again, I would say the Holy Spirit, but at some point I was moved to just pick one of these ideas they were coming to me with and say, hey, let me give you the support I can. One of the first businesses was, I came on Exeat, and a young man who had he had started like sort of a printing, branding, I think clothing brand businesses. A lot of young people were doing that back then, and apparently he had the experience in terms of like knowing how to do the printing and the design, but in terms of the business of running the brand, he never did. And he came to me to say, I know how to do the work. I don't know how to run the business. And I said, if you know, printing is much broader than going to do just a clothing brand. If you want to run a business and you want my help, I want us to do the printing it doesn't stop us from doing your brand, but let's do everything else. And he was sort of my first project. Immediately I come back to school, and this week of pitches starts. And even that, I didn't notice it till I came to school, took the decision, and this started. Then out of those businesses that came, one was another brand that he wanted. I went to SOS. Half the school was private students, and half were from the SOS villages globally, right? And one of these students approached me about a beautiful brand he wanted to start. It was very Japanese artistic, thing. And I said, okay. Right, I just started a printing business literally a couple days ago, right outside of school. Design your stuff, I'll cover the cost of printing, right? Because we're doing that internally anyway. So I had to put up just a little bit of cash that I had saved up, helped him bring it into school, and gave him a timeline to sell it. All I said was, go take out pre-orders. You don't need to take cash from anybody. You don't want issues in school. Just go take out pre-orders. People who would put their name, number, and sign beside it. That if you bring it, I'm looking at the image, if you bring it and it's like this, I will pay for it. Come up with a good number. Approach me, you want 50 pieces. Get at least 25 people to agree to buy it on the spot of arrival. Because that at least will cover the cost of production for me. So I'll cover the cost, I'll bring it in next visiting, and you can go and sell it to your people. And that's exactly what he did. And for the next year, it kept running.
Nana, the age, this is high school. The age at which you started thinking about business and run, it's not normal. I mean, typically when you hear stories of entrepreneurship, it's the hardships, the desperation that forces people to get into. That was not your story. So my question is, what was motivating that business mindedness, that entrepreneurship? Did you see your parents do it? Was it something you were reading? What was it?
So definitely say that for me, it had been there from too young an age to be able to point at something.
Yeah.
But there are definitely influences. Like I said, I was exposed to a lot of successful entrepreneurs when I was younger. My father being obviously a very big example for me.
Yeah.
He's definitely an inspiration, and he's
Yeah.
not even somebody who I would overtly like go place time and energy to like sort of drain business knowledge
From
or
him.
anything from, but just the pure example of his existence before anything
Yeah.
would drive you to see the
Were
benefit
you
of
reading
doing
about the things
yes,
he was doing or other entrepreneurs
Yes, I mean,
were
there are things you
doing?
would see,
Yeah.
there are things that people would even share with you
Yeah.
before he would even mention. And, you know, at that period of time, it was still, as far as he may have gotten in my lifetime, there were still a lot of things that were being built,
Yeah.
right? In my lifetime, I saw Neat Fufu come into being. It
Yeah.
didn't predate
Exist,
me,
yeah.
right? Same thing with This Way, chocolate drinks. Same thing with, even
Yeah.
You Two Souls came to meet
So
us.
subconsciously,
Right?
there must have been that
it was
desire to create.
exactly it's I think everybody wants to create something in this
Yeah,
life
yeah.
for themselves, but for
Yeah.
me it was more of you've seen examples that make you see that it is practically possible.
Yeah.
Like you said, a lot of people are born out of desperation. It's not an assurance that it
Yeah.
will work.
Yeah,
It's
it
more
doesn't.
I have
To
to do
survive.
it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have a choice. If I do it and it fails, fine,
Yeah.
but I have to do something.
Yeah.
Otherwise I can't. For me, it was a point of you have no excuse not to do it because you've seen that it can work.
It can be done.
Right? It's being done right
Did you see
around
any
you.
stories of failure? Because for me, one of the reasons we are doing this
Yeah.
is to help people to embrace failure. And if you have been on this
Yeah.
journey, you are not old, but you have tasted what this journey can
yeah.
look like in terms of failure. How have you braced yourself, or how have you dealt with any failure in the businesses that you've done? Did you see somebody close to you fail that you picked the lesson from, or do you think that once it happened, you suddenly realize that this journey cannot be, it's not just top all the
Of
time?
course.
How did you deal with that failure? What happened?
So,
How did you deal with that
it?
failure?
So when it comes to failure, I always tell the team that in what we're doing, failure will be your first, middle, and last name. Understand that it is not just a part of the process. It is
But it's
literally
painful.
but it is what I always tell my team that if we are not failing and continuing, the person who's doing the exact thing we are doing, right, would also have the same experience. He'd also never fail, and there will be no competition, right? There's no way to get to the top if you didn't fail alongside people who gave up and you continued. So that is
Share
literally
your biggest failure.
Yeah. So for me,
in all the things you've done, what
So-
has been your lowest moments, and how did you pick yourself up?
So lowest moments, there are too many, but I'll talk about a recent one. I always tell them that honestly, we go to zero,
Yeah.
especially with what I do.
Yeah.
We invest a lot.
Yeah.
So we go to zero at multiple points in the year, right? But it's all part of the cycle of what we do. But
Yeah.
outside of that, there was a contract you got a few years ago to supply one of the largest meat manufacturers in Ghana, right? They were just changing suppliers. I just got a very good relationship with one of the decision makers. It just so happened, sort of happened at the perfect time. So, you know, as a person of faith, you think, oh, this is God doing it for me.
It's
This
a
is my
miracle.
breakthrough.
God has opened the door.
Oh man, I was here just planning out the next 10 years. What am I going to take this money? Money you've not seen. Oh.
Yeah.
So please, my brethren, first thing, do not
Don't-
plan with
until
money.
the
It's
money
not-
is sitting in the bank.
it is not yours. So hey, you've not
Sometimes
done
if
a
it
job.
gets there, you have to return it when the
Mommy,
thing doesn't work
let
out.
me tell you the story. So we got a contract to do quite a few things. It was like I think gari, flour, charcoal, pepper, a lot of things that they use in their process. And then the largest one with sort of like the largest margin was the pepper. So we decided to start with that so that we can sort of pad ourselves before we bring the rest of the product. So now we get the people I hired to do sourcing give me a quote for 50 what is supposedly 50 kg bags of this pepper, supposedly. Now this quote comes at less, so they are usually buying about 25 kg bags.
Yeah.
I'm getting them 50 kg bags about, let's say, 10 or 20%
Cheaper
above
than if
above
they
the
had
price
bought
of 25 kg.
Okay.
about the price of. So if let's say 25 kg was 100
Yeah,
cedis,
this is
you
just
were getting
120.
50 kg for like 120, 130.
Yeah, which is super.
Yeah, to them they were like, I don't care how you are getting it. I want it. I'll pay for it. Now that should have been my first red flags. Please,
Yeah.
when you see the signs, please listen.
You are not
If
the
you
only
don't even
person
believe in
God loves.
I'm telling you, God will tell you, stop. Like it's not you that is look. Oh God.
If it's too good to be
Christ.
true.
It is. It truly. If it's too good to be true, it's because it is. Don't do it. So the price came out supposedly good. Great. The next issue was okay. Now price, now logistics and stuff. You see me in Kaneshi markets, and I'm saying this on air, right? So you see me in Kaneshi market, like walking around, like talking to these drivers, trying to arrange. I'm going between the factory and the Chemota and coming back to the market, trying to meet all these people, cost out the thing, because for me, numbers is my business, right? So I need to be able to give you an exact cost. Now, we have the cost from the people. We finally gotten the logistics sorted out. And then comes the money. Now we are overly, like we are non-liquid. Everything is in ongoing investments. I do not have cash. I need to come up with this money.
With the money.
I go
To pre-finance.
to pre-finance it. I go to every existing client I have, because we do what we call SPVs, where we allow existing clients to bring in new money just for single off contracts and then step out.
Yeah. And once you are done, you pay them back.
Yes,
You
so that
the
capital
margins.
is not money under management. It's just for the one-time job.
Yeah.
So we go to every client in a single day. I'm with a colleague of mine in the car with me. He just so happens to be with me that day. And I do the rounds with him. And we go to every single client of mine that was around. Somebody just got a contract that day as I was coming. So his money was just consumed. Somebody couldn't. Ghana, we have ways to tell you.
Tell you that I'm not giving it to you.
For our baby. So I do all of that and I come home broke. I'm like, God, you've given me the breakthrough thing, and now the capital to go and do it, I don't have. Like, why are you punishing me? What's all this? Only for me to, I don't know if it was the same night or the following evening, my friend who happened to just be in the car with me, walked into all the offices with me. In the span of less than an hour, I hit about 5 different people's offices, same project. And he shows up at my house with the money. The full young guy, like
so you started praising
it did not
God.
even cross my mind. So we started praising God. Thank you, God. You've done it again. You've changed my life. Oh, we can. If some pastor cost me that, remember for it, I would have given everything as a sacrifice, because in my mind, God had done it already. Now we go pay for this product, 50 kg bags, mind you. Have it put into the truck. I'm waiting for the truck at Achimota Mall. We meet it. We take it to the supplier space. We offload everything. I am carrying supposedly 50 kg bags of pepper myself on my back into a 40-footer container. I mean, it was quite an experience. Me, I thought, the suffering of breakthrough. This is it. This is the story I'm going to tell my children. We are done. I go home. I've issued invoice. I'm going to sleep.
The weight.
Sorry, Anofa. 50 kg bags, no, they measure it 14 kg, not 25, not 40, 14, 20, 18. No. Sorry, 14, 13, 12. Bakubi into 15 kg impo. Apparently, the person who went to do the sourcing saw 50 kg written on the bag. The bags were like rice bags. Like, you see, this is farm produce. They get any sack that they.
It's funny, but
oh my God.
So without weighing the thing.
And the funny thing is, I asked, you see, somebody say then your ignorance. No, I asked multiple times. Have you guys done weighing? I didn't even ask you if you are sure for you to tell me.
But didn't you go and see the weighing for yourself?
See, so what happened was the client started giving pressure. So the day that because we kept getting problematic pricing.
Yeah.
That should have been my say. If all the pricing is problematic in one place, it's just magically correct, it shouldn't add up. No. So that is where, like, you call it excitement, you call it ignorance, you call it what? That is where it played in.
Yeah.
But everything else I had to do to be sure.
Yeah,
I did to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
I would have preferred, at some point I even told them, like, I don't mind delaying and the client being disappointed. Yeah. Let me come all the way there and say, oh no, they've already started parking it on the truck. They are on their way. Another red flag. Should have seen the signs.
How much money did you lose?
By the time I was done, somewhere in the range of like maybe like 40 to 50,000 cedis.
How did you get out of it? How did you?
So for me to, my business is purely based on trust. People will leave their money with you because they trust it.
Yeah.
I took the money on a Monday or so.
Yeah.
And
hoping to return it by Friday.
Thursday. Oh, Friday I paid the money. For me, if I have to go and give to make sure,
that's the client's the integrity.
100%.
Is that one thing that you believe has helped your business?
100%.
The integrity of the entrepreneur.
I have 3 of my largest clients now who the first check they ever wrote me, all of them as if clockwork or I planned it, they all uttered the same sentence. And then I say, nothing you've pitched me is the reason I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Meaning, they'll say it in Tree, but let me just translate it into it. I know that my money cannot go and burn with you.
Yeah.
So I'll just give it to you.
Because you definitely come back.
Do
they understand the risk component?
100. So
it is possible that.
So with what we do, we tell them that for a large portion, you define your risk profile.
Yeah.
So there are certain things I won't do. So there were certain clients we had at that time when I said we didn't have capital, whose capital was in the bank.
Yeah.
I could have used for that job.
Yeah.
But as they open the account, it doesn't fit within the risk profile of what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. So the people who are our low risk clients, any first time job, their money cannot be included.
Yeah.
Right. You have to have done it for at least 3 to 6 months. So we do quarters. So if the job has not been something you've done recurringly over a quarter, their money can't even touch it.
You are almost done with medical school. Yeah. You are left with a year.
Yeah.
How are you? Medical school is tough.
It is.
You are running a business full time.
Yeah.
How are you combining this? Because it's tough.
Yeah.
But it must have taken some level of planning or organizing 100. Or whatever. What can you share on that so that people who are not even doing full-time school and are still saying they don't have time
for their business?
How are you combining? How are you and when you finish, tell me why
Mommy,
why you don't want to become doctor and work in the hospital.
Oh, we'll become doctors. We'll work in the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, make your children doctors. But so the first thing I'll say is 3 things. One, if you are running a business now with your job, with your school, and you claim you don't have time, you don't want to do it, give up, you fail. Like, let me be the bearer of bad news. Business is one of the people I look up to quite a bit, Mark Cuban, says business is the only sport that when you get on the court the first day, you play it 24/7 for the rest of your life. Football has a closing time. Basketball has a closing time. Every sport matches it. We don't close. I have clients in other countries, because of time zones, they call me and wake me up at 3 a.m. in the morning. And you have to be up to answer it because the money is not yours. Right? So by the virtue of that alone, I think it taught me the responsibility to other people. The 2 other things I'll say for my generation, and I even see it because a lot of the people I consult for, I do business with, are much older than myself. And I say that even with respect to them, with all due respect, there is a lack of integrity and a sheer lack of discipline. So a sheer lack of discipline in my generation and a sheer lack of integrity in us as, I don't want to even just say Ghanaians, I don't even want to say Africans, but a lot of business people as a whole. And we say it and it sounds so superficial because anytime you're having these conversations, people want to hear the tricks. They're like, oh, if you move some of your money to this place and you do this, this is how it will work.
How to get the money quickly.
There's no trick to sustainable long-term wealth. It's a conversation I have with all of some of my clients force me to make promises of large percentages. And I tell them, I would rather you walk away than tell you 50% and the quarter will end, I'll bring you 5. It won't happen. And if it does happen, for us, we are not an investment firm, it's wealth management, right? So if I do make 50%, I'll charge you my management fee and the rest is yours. Right? So I don't mind. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So if you, and I remember I had a client who was writing me their first check, a very substantial amount. And let's say, pick a random, let's say 6 digits figure.
60,000.
60,000.
600,000.
600,000. Okay, so let's say it was 600,000. Please, it wasn't 600,000. That's 600,000. I'll be here. We'll be somewhere having dinner. But it wasn't 600. But let's say 600,000, right?
Okay.
So the client's writing a check in front of me. He's having his son write it as he's speaking to me for 600,000, and he's still having that final debate on our, because we set a target for every quarter.
Yeah.
It's not a promise, but it's the target based on our
hoping
view.
that we can get there.
We can get there. And he's pushing me to do about 3-4% above the target. And I say, for me, if the quarter goes plainly without issue, that target is my floor. I will not move it up. He pushed and pushed, and as the son was writing the check, so you can see the money coming to you.
So you like,
and you think you'll be doing. So they are testing. In my mind, I didn't even think he was testing me. It's just something I would never do. So I said no.
Then I'd rather not take the money.
Yeah, so you see, you don't tell the person to take their money. So I just kept pushing the no, and I acted like I wasn't watching the son write the check. Because if the check is done, I
But
keep
you
my
were
check and I go.
looking
And like, as soon as it's done, I'm a fan, I'm a babe. But I kept telling him that I can't be done. This is what, because our purview, his son was an existing client, and his son got a better target set for the previous quarter, so he was using that to gauge. I said no, it's a new year. How Ghana's economy is looking like right now is not, we're not having high early expectations. Let the year settle down. Let's look at mid-year, and then we might change our projections. And this man kept pushing. Right about when, so let's say 600, they've written the 600,000, last zero. Then this man, Tam check, he grabs the whole check and smashes it. And in my heart drops. It's like,
it's not going to happen.
Like disappointed, he's angry. And he tells the son, go back to the car, pick another check for me. And if it was 600,000, he made it 900. He made it 900,000.
Whoa.
So basically 50%, half of whatever he added another half on, right? Simply because he could not force me to change my mouth and make promises he knew I couldn't keep.
Beyond passion, Nana, what do you need to survive as an entrepreneur? Because the passion, the ideas, I mean, they can come a dime a dozen. Like,
everybody.
And you are upbeat about it and all of that. And, but beyond that, what do you think will turn the hustle into a lasting business?
So I would honestly say, beyond anything, two things. One, the grace of God. Don't lose your God. Keep up your prayer. Hold that very, very close to you. And the second thing is discipline. Like I talked about integrity, but like the integrity is built. Somebody who's disciplined will not lie regularly. Somebody who's disciplined will not cut corners to try and make a buck or two, right? Because people think about that. Ghana, everybody likes money boom. A lot of clients who say me, I like big profits, or your profit is too small. But my profit is small and it comes the rest of your life. Somebody will make you triple what I make and make it for you once and burn all your money. Right? So if that's what you're looking for, fine. But have that discipline in and of yourself. And the second thing is, don't mistake the third thing is, don't mistake excitement for passion. Passion is what will have you up at 3 a.m. doing something that an employee of yours was supposed to be doing. And I'm saying this out of pain. It's something that, it's the thing that will have you, rushing from, a work site. I was at a factory that was setting up for a client, and I made the promise to be here. And in the middle, I was filthy head to toe. I left in the middle of setup to rush, shower, and come and make it here, and would have to return back there before the evening is done, because that is what a gamer. It's passion, and that passion is the drive to want to do it regardless of how hard it gets, not because it's nice. When you're going for those meetings at the sky bars and the rooftop complexes, when you are speaking on large stages, which I used to do a lot and I barely even do now, because there's so much time constraints on me between school and the business that I barely go on stages
anymore. How often
anymore.
do you run to your father for help?
I have never done that before. If I truly believe that I'm sure to some point now he should know what I do. I don't think we've ever had a conversation regarding what I do, and I don't think it's anything to do with him. It's just I started it on my own. I've been running it on my own, and I'm doing what if something was to happen. I should have put in risk mitigating factors to make sure that I don't need to run anywhere. Do you think
that not having everything, given to you pushes you to innovate?
100%.
Because I was driving at the point that sometimes when you get things thrown at you, but when you are in a place where you have to deliver,
Yeah.
then the ideas and the creativity and the
Starts
innovation
coming.
happen. So I'm happy that you
100%.
don't go running, that you
100%.
push.
I don't think we've ever had a conversation about it, but I think
Yeah.
there's definitely I won't say scarcity,
Yeah.
but a scarcity mindset
Mindset,
he's
yeah.
allowed. I won't say
Us
he
to
pushed,
have,
he
yeah.
didn't imbue it on anybody,
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
force anybody to
Yeah.
but he's allowed us to experience and build.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's certain things that will purely be born
What
out
difference
of hunger.
would mentoring whilst you were young and starting out? Because when you start the business
Yeah.
and you are established, you realize that it's very different from what you thought it was going to be.
1,000%.
The ideas, what difference would a mentor and a guide have been when you were on campus and you were trying to? And I'm asking because I want you to speak to the fact that we are launching a fund for, we call the Hustle Fund for campuses, where the students get to, pitch their idea.
I'll be applying as well, people. So when you meet me there, don't be
I won't
surprised.
call you a student, though.
Me. Please, so I'm fit here. I have plenty time as a student. Yeah, one of the benefits of
where
medicine.
they can, and beyond that, we provide them the mentorship. For us, we want them to try whilst they are there, so that by the time they come up they've made their mistakes, they've learned the
100%.
lessons and all of that. So I would definitely be connecting with you.
Yes, the Hustle Fund, we're open. So I have a foundation called Youth in Business.
Okay.
That's where we used to be on the campuses quite a bit. Okay. We used to do conferences all over, and that was one of the goals. It was I said I didn't know that what I was doing was a business, private equity. That's what we used to do. Right? We'll find businesses that are starting up or just about starting and give them either the capital. When I didn't have money, what we called resource. I called it resource investment. It sounded very nice, but all it was I had a few people on my phone that could probably help you. And I'll make those calls, create those connections, and I'll call it an investment and take percentage of your business, right?
And how did it go?
And that's how we started out, and it helped a lot of the businesses that still form the foundation. So LP Press, our printing and branding service, Sincere Wear, some of our clothing brands, what's it called? LP Trade Fund. That's what we do all our supply contracts and so on from. We run Uni Loans, which is a students loan service. A number of the baseline companies that we have set up and running on a date, we're born out of that.
What do you do to relax?
What do I do to relax? Amazing. Next year I'll tell people how to relax, because I've not found it. I honestly say, and sometimes this thing it's not the most healthy thing, and we shouldn't say, but honestly I'll say, if you're trying to do something groundbreaking and you think you deserve like some absurd time to go and relax, like yes, take a minute once in a while, maybe watch a movie, do something. I do that. I watch series once in a while, but it is a 24/7 sport. You do not get to stop.
What would you never do as an entrepreneur?
Steal. I say it plainly because in our business and political climate, you can do not lie. Like just don't lie. Right? We in business, we all sometimes you have a shipment that's delaying and you tell a client, oh, it's coming, but it's going to come the following day. You twist
it's not true.
For me, I'll just tell you that there's been some delays. Even if you don't want to say it to come tomorrow, I'm trying to get it for you today, but it may not be possible.
That young person who is at the point where they want to give up and just forget this whole entrepreneurship that is not knowing whichever way they turn, what is your advice or words to inspire them?
I'll tell you what I wish I was told or I had heard early on, and that's why I do what I do. That we are, and there's a lot of motivational stuff people can say. This is not what I needed to hear. We are going through it too. Your mentors, the people who you inspire, our situations look so pleasing on the outside. So then sometimes you feel like a failure because you are failing. But we are all failing too. As at a few days ago, I could barely get out of bed because I am being riddled currently, as I sit here, with so many issues at the same time. And we that stand on the stage, we try to paint the most beautiful picture. We hear the stories of those who started their restaurants with 1 grain of rice and started selling medication
with some sweat as water.
Exactly. But what about the issues that happen alongside? So for our stages, our Youth in Business, and I would love us to work with the Hustle Fund, because we always look for, we should put things together and give that to students. But what I used to push our speakers to always do was don't talk about the start and then the end. tell
Talk
them
about
the
the
story.
middle.
Mention the multiple
Yeah.
different stages.
Yeah.
When you had a 4-floor office complex
Yeah.
and you were still failing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell those stories so that they know that it doesn't mean the business is collapsing.
Yeah.
Right?
It
As long
just
as you can
means
work
that there's more
tomorrow,
work to do.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
As long as you can work
Charlie,
tomorrow.
Get the book Beyond the Hustle. You will find a code in there if you're a student that allows you to send in your business idea. For me, beyond the money, mentoring, guidance,
It's
sharing
everything.
the stories, it's everything. You cannot miss out on that. If this was useful, and me and Nana, we haven't finished the conversation. This is just part one. We would have a proper master class to talk properly through all the stages at some point, but so that you don't miss any of the things that we have posted or we will post, follow us on all our socials, BT Hustle GH. Subscribe, it will help. It will keep growing. We can bring you guests from all over. I won't say bigger guests, because for me in entrepreneurship, there's nothing like age or somebody who is bigger than, and every hustle is a hustle and everybody has a story to share. So we'll keep bringing people on the set to be able to share with you. Apply for that. It will serve you well. Even if you plan to work in an organization after school, that entrepreneurial mindset will set you apart, because you will
1,000%.
add value in the organization. So everybody has to be a part of this movement. I call it a movement. We will build our young entrepreneurs one show at a time, one mentoring at a time. Because you see, what we call hustle is not a business. It's a gig, but it has the potential to become a business. Knowledge, guidance, support, mentoring, and you will get there. Leave us your reviews, connect with me, ask all the questions. I will try and answer them as much as I can. And if you hear that there's any webinar or podcast or training and I have Nana on there, you cannot miss it. You would have to invest in your business. You have to invest in yourself. Join in and let's continue to learn and build. Beyond the hustle. See you on the next episode.